Hello there, fellow summoners. MaddogHT here, and I got another full Alliance War video for you. I have 9 fights in this war today, and it was a pretty good one. We've had a solid season, and yeah, so let's get into it. So I'm on path 1, and the first fight we're facing this Spiderman, and never fought him in war. Fought him a few times in the quests. From last month. This guy's got Vigorous Assault and Arc Overload, so he's going to be fully unblockable at times. And just because he can't evade, and I haven't fought him very much, I went on and threw on an invulnerability boost, which definitely helped. So I'm just trying to wait him out a little bit. He's being quite aggressive. Sometimes the AI does that. Sometimes they go and just kind of dash back and kind of chill. So I got a little intercept on there. And one thing when I was planning for this war, when I looked on Aunt May to check out this guy's hashtags, I saw that he was originally, like, his first one is like offensive something champ. I'm like, oh sweet. But I wasn't paying that much attention because he's both offensive and defensive, so he does get stubborn. And this guy he was not throwing his specials as much as I would like. I don't know how to fully dex his L2 yet. Haven't tried that too much. Maybe I'm gonna have to practice on some duels. I found a dual target. Kabam doesn't have one yet. But you can see, like, I'm not doing too much damage because I keep triggering indestructible, though I have some debuffs on me that are kind of keeping me healed up. I did get hit. I think I don't have any indestructible left. I think I might maybe have one. I wasn't paying attention to how many hits I took, but once he gets that regen up, then okay, there's one. Alright, so there, I had one left. Get a little intercept. Me getting smacked in the face disables the indestructible, thank heavens. We re-trigger it again, parry, and here I'm just going to parry this out because I don't want to push him to L2 and then have him go unblockable and hit me. And I get tagged right at the very end, missed that parry. So I took, what, 4 or 5 hits? 5 hits, but I didn't lose too much health because of that indestructible boost and his debuffs that you put on. So that went okay. Could definitely be better. So I still have that indestructible boost going for this Medusa fight. So I'm gonna jump in. I'm boosted. I'm gonna go in with Void. You know, thinking back at it, I probably should have just used Torch because I feel like Torch has a better option to remove the masochism on demand, pretty much, where Void, you're either having to, you know, parry, double parry, and get your IP debuffs on. And so, you know, to start this out, I'm trying to manage. You got a couple timers to manage on this one. You have the masochism timer, you have your intimidating presence debuff timer on Void, and then you have the Furies. And I mean, we're already 40 seconds. We're getting up close to a minute in this fight, and she's at full health. And I really haven't been paying good enough attention to be able to get debuffs on. Basically, do a parry, knock off with the masochism, and then have the intimidating presence timer apply some debuffs. But we're getting there slowly but surely. And basically, I'm just going to be doing heavies while she's got 3 Furies or 1 hit, because I don't want to get auto-blocked. And about halfway through this fight, after trying to, like, manage all of this, I do just get distracted enough to where I forget that she has 3 Furies, and she does smack me. And luckily, I don't think she does, like, a full combo to my face, but I do have the indestructible boost still going. I think it's coming up here. Yeah, right there. So I went in, trying to get full combo. Luckily, indestructible helped me. I get some armor break, healing from willpower on there, and then we're just gonna close this out. you know, definitely not the cleanest fight. Lost a little bit of health, cost me a health potion to, which I was going to use anyways, for the boss, but not a big deal. So Medusa goes down, and then we're coming up to node 20, I believe it is, node 20. And this is a rank 3 stealth Spider-Man. Yeah, node 20, it's got strike counter fury, and we typically leave up the power focus 1, and I'm still gonna leave it up because I just don't ever want the AI. Sometimes they just love to hold them specials, and yeah, his level 1 is really easy to get away from, and then basically counter and either take off the evade charts that he has with like just one hit and back up. So yeah, and you know, and if he doesn't throw a special one like he is at this point in time, you can just keep smashing at him and you don't have to bait anything out. And again, if you haven't seen any of my videos for this node, which I love to bring Thing on, he counters almost anybody on this node. Basically the whole strategy is to never throw a special, redline it, and just keep parrying and smashing, and you build up a bunch of furies really quickly. I have Human Torch on the team, which every time I get to 20 and then I trigger more rock stacks from like a parry or whatnot, they automatically get converted and bumped up into furies, so you can get up to 60 furies really fast. And the fact that this stealth suit Spider-Man has 30 something furies right now, because I'm basically ignoring the strike counter fury node, is actually beneficial, because he's hitting so dang hard that every time he touches me, he's triggering protection. So basically it's really hard to mess up and kill Thing. So as an attacker, gotta love that. Probably should have thrown the L3 earlier, but not a big deal. I lost 4% health, which is nothing. And we take out this stealth suit Spider-Man, rank 3, with no problem. Yeah, he goes down. And then the last fight in this section 1 is the Power Snack mini boss, and today we got a rank 3 Domino, and I think her sig was like 40 or 60. It was on the lower end, which is good for me, because that crit fail, I hate that. I hate fighting Domino. Now with Thing, I'm gonna be trying to block as much as possible, and I think earlier on this fight I should have thrown a special, and I kept holding, trying to look for that right window, which it just never felt I had it. So I hold on to my special 3 for way too long. I probably should have thrown a special 2 earlier, but I'm just trying to parry. So far I haven't got any crit fails. Oh, and there we go, we get one. And he can get crit fails from the parries to apply rock stacks to convert them to fury. So luckily the signature ability isn't as high, so the damage isn't as significant as maybe like a Sig 200 rank 5. It can get out of control really, and so far, I mean, generally it's going pretty well. And this is probably where I should have thrown a big special, but I'm trying to bait her special, and she's gonna throw it in just a second. There we go. And yeah, the one nice thing is with Thing, he can't be nullified, so Power Snack, I mean, I've done this fight so many times that it's just thrown out the window. It doesn't even apply. So really the only thing in this fight that I have to worry about is one, the crit fail from Domino, because that's her ability, and possibly some evades, and then lastly is just the node, and I can't think of what it is, the recovery node. At 50% health, she's gonna gain a bunch of power, so I need to make sure that she doesn't have too much power to, when I hit her across 50%, that it pushes her to L3. And so we come out unblockable, unstoppable. Gotta parry those because I was unlucky. And we are now at 60 rock stacks. There's the backup recovery. Do a couple taps into the block, push her over. It's fine. Now we're gonna push her to L2 again, which L2 is, I think it's better than L1 because you can totally get out of the way from it without having to dex. You just back up and get out of range, which is nice. It just gives one less opportunity to be crit failed and take stupid damage. And I probably should have been maybe doing some more draft back intercepts at this point because I do have the full 60 Furies and would have saved on some chip damage. I think I'm gonna go for an L2. No, I thought I was gonna go for an L2. We got 20 rock stacks. I'm backed up in the corner, and then right before I throw that L3, I actually get hit. Take some damage that I should have avoided. So she's got 22%. So I only took 5% health, 20k damage on that L3. I have to block that again because I'm unlucky, but I'm unblockable. So I smash in, but she goes lucky. Gonna be careful, make sure she doesn't evade me. And she's almost down. I don't know, long fight, got hit once, but look at how much damage I've taken. 55%. Domino, she's a pain in the butt, but she goes down, and we able to open up our Mixmaster Mini, which my teammate Mirage Turtle, who sometimes posts on this channel some awesome fights, he takes that fight down with a Storm Pyramid X. Pretty much every ward that we see it there, he does a great job. And we're moving into tier 2, and we have a Professor X. I've seen this guy on this node a few times. I have died to him once last season, I think. He just didn't want to throw a special. When I got L3'd and it was lights out because I had already used my protection. But regardless, this does have extra energy damage. So if you do get hit, man, it hurts. It hurts big time. So really got to keep an eye on those falter charges. Make sure that when he drops down to 0, that you get your in, whether it's through a special counter or a parry and a hit, so you can whiff and trigger the falter and then back off and let it expire, and then just go back to town. I'm really not throwing any specials, and I probably should have again. I don't know, sometimes with Thing, I just strolling with it, he hits pretty hard when you get his Furies ramped up. But I should have been throwing some specials, and I do at the very end. I throw a couple L1s, but because I'm doing some dexing and whatnot, the what's the node on this one that I can't think of it. We got EMP and something that where if you lose a buff, you get power drained. I can't think of the name of the node, but that's keeping my power in check at the moment. So there, I throw an L1. The Incinerate that I have from the Torch synergy, it's really almost offset by his willpower, and we never get to 60 Furies, but we do knock him out. We don't take any hits, do take some chip damage, and which is fine. Nothing too crazy, and we're going up on this path 1, and we have an Elsa. So when I saw that Elsa, I'm like, oh crap, am I gonna need a mutant for this? And the Medusa fight was the same guy, Kosa 111, didn't have suicides. I did a scouting beforehand, and I was like, okay, doesn't have suicides, but if that Medusa did have suicides, then I'd have to readjust my plans and have somebody else come down this line, because with that bleed active, and this is a rank 3, there's no way any of my science champs would be able to survive the degen damage. So but she doesn't have suicides, so we're just gonna go in with Thing, and you're like, Thing versus a rank 3 Elsa, class disadvantage, vigor every 25%. You know, it doesn't sound too promising, but I am boosted a little bit. And there she gets the regen all the way back up to 100%, It's no big deal. I'm just trying to bait this chick's L1. I find that super easy to evade fully, and there, she finally throws it. I just don't want to push her to L2. It's just more block damage that I don't want to take, because I don't know how to dex that 100%. And, you know, we're a minute into this fight. Again, barely any damage done, but we're building up some Furies, and we launch an L3, and it's going to do some big damage. Let's see how much damage we get out of this one. 20k, and we just push her over the 25% threshold, under 75 to 69%, and we're just smashing away. It got lots of Furies now. Now she's under 50%, and the fight is just boom. It's just drastically changed. When you have all of those Furies converted, thing hits like a beast, especially when they start critting. None of those crit on that. And I think we're gonna trigger the vigor, no problem. Just keep smashing away on this chick. And I don't know, Elsa, she's not too difficult. You do have to watch out for, like, if you're stunned last a really long time, or you have some debuff that's non-damaging, she can shrug it off and smack you. So just keep aware of that. Get her under 25%. We throw a special 3. I think we're gonna come out of this unblockable and smash her over really quick, and she'll be done. Yeah, right here, boom, dead. So the first minute no damage, the next minute pretty much 100% damage. So just gotta ramp them up, and thing does a really solid job. And then last up on no, I did 2 more fights before I went to bed. This is a rank 3, I think, Doom. And it's got, when I checked, this guy had suicides on, but he placed without. So I go and I apply the pre-fight, back out, make sure that it's applied, because we've had some issues in our BG1 with pre-fights not sticking, and it really sucks. And so my whole goal here is do a couple parries, build up some smolders, build up my temperature to full, and just parry in one hit. I have max petrify, so that reduces the power gained, the combat power gained, by 30%, so he's going to gain less power. And so even though I'm taking some chip damage, that's all right, but the buffet on this would be nasty, and I don't want to trigger buffet. So I'm kind of getting backed up into the corner, no problem. I'm just doing one parry, one hit, back up, one parry, one hit, and this guy's starting to melt, and I built up some power all the way to where I can do another combo into an L2, 17 smolders, I stun him, do a medium, and then finish him off. No specials seen, no buffet, just absolute meltdown with Torch. He's awesome. So I've taken that fight a number of times with the rank 3 Doom. My rank 3 Torch does the job. Just got to make sure your parry game is on. And this was the last fight for the night. This wasn't assigned for me. I had my buddy Doomslug take down a Man-Thing on the right mini that I usually take with Claire. He did a great job, and so we were looking at what we were up against, and my teammate Germs, he was going to take this fight with Guardian, but he was still sleeping. He's over in Europe somewhere, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna take this guy down with Torch. I'm not boosted, and I shouldn't trigger Rage. It shouldn't be a problem, and I'm just gonna try to parry as many of his attacks as possible, because there are a lot of energy attacks. Parry the L1 beams to build up smolder, and this dude will just start to melt. So there I get a parry on the first one, didn't stick the parry on the second of that beam, but temperature is built up, smolder is building up, and the damage is ramping up, and I'm still basically, all the damage that I'm doing is pretty much tied to the incinerates, so I don't really have to worry about rage not hitting hard enough to trigger that, which is nice. And I'm just going to redline it. I mean, I could have thrown a L3. It would have triggered one fury from rage, but didn't feel like it was even necessary. And we're just playing this nice and slow, medium, light, medium, parry, parry, miss them both, take some extra block damage on that. And he's almost dead. I do a medium, medium. We're in that 15% range right now, so I do a heavy. He's melting away, melting away. We get the last heavy off right here, and the Nova, not the Novas, the Incinerates do the rest, and we take down that Iron Man Infinity War, no problem whatsoever. And now we're coming up to the last fight, which is the boss. My battle group, we did some coordination, some talking, and we had a lot of fights left, the whole mini island, and man, everybody did such a great job. I love my battle group, I love my alliance. And we cleared all of the minis plus all of the remaining fights that we had been kind of sitting on, waiting for people to coordinate boosts and whatever, and cleared all the fights, no deaths. So I add in a health pot, added one more to make sure that I'm maxed up on health, apply some boosts, and my buddy Mirage Turtle, he had Mr. Fantastic, and he did some fantastic things within this war. He had 3 debuffs to apply. He applied them. It's going to help with some damage at the beginning of the fight. This is a rank 3 6-star thing, and not max sig, but that helps me. And so here I totally messed up on the spacing right out the gate, and I'm like, I was trying to get a heavy to keep those debuffs going, and I missed it, but I do get my L1 off. Thankfully, I got enough power from getting smacked in the face to throw that off. But from here, I should have heavied off of that, but I let those pre-fight debuffs fall off, so I only got about, I don't know, 5, 6, 7% benefit of damage on that. It's unfortunate. I should have managed it better. But I was just, after I missed that spacing on trying to counter that heavy, or that special with my heavy, no, it was his heavy with my heavy. I was like, no, I'm not gonna even try to mess up and get smacked again. So I'm just kind of rolling. And when I was doing this fight, after I had gotten smacked, I'm like, is it 12 rock stacks or is it 13 rock stacks that I need to throw my special? And I couldn't remember. It's 13. And so at the beginning, I'm stalling as to when I throw the specials, and but we get it all sorted out. I think I throw a special somewhere in here. I'm like, okay, it's a Void has a 2-hit special, and then we kind of just get rolling. And basically what I like to do is, although there I messed up. I think there I messed up, and that's when I was like, oh, I need to make sure that I do it on 13 rock stacks. Luckily, he didn't throw a special right away. We got Fear the Void up, a bunch of debuffs up, and we're just rolling. So what I like to do is do a full combo, and then do another combo, and make sure I stop on like 9 hits, 10 hits, when he doesn't have a bar of power, and then get to the 13 hits on the next combo and throw a special. It'll get him to 15 rock stacks. We'll get some spacing, push him back, and then make sure you try to not trigger decks ever, or at least as much as possible. You can get out of his specials without triggering decks, and so far I've done that pretty well. We do have 6 indestructible charges up. Again, we got Fear of the Void plus the 3 debuffs. Now we got double Fear of the Void. And we're triggering some protection, but that's okay. And this guy's just slowly going down. Intimidating Presence debuffs are just doing its thing. And even though I'm not like hitting super hard on the regular attacks, it's just that damage over time ticking away throughout this whole fight. Here he He's just hammering into the block, as trying to bait like a heavy. There we go. He gives it to me. And we get to 13. Boom. Hit him with a special 2. And I think he's going to get power stinged. Yep, 2 weaknesses. So that's going to help on any chip damage. Unfortunately, it's best if you can get a weakness, I think, and a degen or a double degen, because you get more damage with the extra debuff, and then the degens are going to do their own damage. And he's at 15 rock stacks. We're just trying to bait this out. We got destructible charges to consume, no problem. And we're gonna finish this dude off just by dancing around a little bit, and he's dead. Get the solo, clear the map. 9 fights, no deaths. 3 health potions and a small one, so not too bad. And so we did end up winning this war, and it was a good hard fought war. Revolution of X video. It's a bunch of Korean guys, and I actually speak Korean, majored in Korean in college, and it's always good to be able to do some shout outs in the war chat. So congrats to them. Put up a hard fought war. We got some revenge because they kicked our butts last season. And don't really know where we stand after this, but we're 5-1 on the season, halfway through. We should be kind of in the top of Platinum 1, coming close to Masters, getting possibly into Tier 1 wars. It's been a good season so far. So I hope you enjoyed this full war video. I'm trying to get back to compiling a bunch of the node videos that are specific to just one node that I have a bunch of footage on. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and keep rocking it, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.